So I don't know about you, but during this quarantine, during this lockdown, I've been looking for ways to get ahead. And I want to share some of these things with you that have actually proved to work already just in this short period of time. So I don't know about you as well. I've been getting out in the garden, I've been getting out in the nature, soaking up those sun rays. Have you as well? Put in the comments and let me know if you've been doing that. Also, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and put on the notification bell, because every time we put a video out there, you need to ask yourself, hey, do I need to get my eyes on this? Yeah, and also you can share it to other people, get it out there. The more you comment, the more you interact, the more people it's going to get in front of. So today I want to be just talking about how do you get ahead during this quarantine before it actually ends. So this first one, this is not a particular secret, but it's something that is so simple, so effective, yet I think that is the reason why people don't do this. That's one of the reasons. Another reason is sometimes it's a little bit difficult to look at ourselves. So the first thing that you need to be doing is assess yourself. Assess yourself, analyze yourself, figure out what is it that's going on for myself. I can give you a very simple strategy and a very simple formula on how you can do that. So the first thing is you got to be kind to yourself. You got to celebrate your wins, and the way you do that is you got to ask yourself, what's working right now? What's working right now? What's worked before? So during this quarantine, if you've totally hit, a wall and it's difficult and tough, then you're going to go back to what was the last thing that was working well for you. Note all of this stuff down. Right now, also ask yourself, what's working for me now? What is working? Maybe you took up a new habit. Maybe you're working on your health and fitness where you weren't before. Maybe you're taking yourself out into nature because the government allowed you to have 1 hour of exercise. So you took advantage of that, even though you had it all the time. But what it is you've got to do is just say, what is working for you? Then the second thing you're going to ask yourself is, what is not working? What is not working for you? It might be to do with your business, it might be to do with your mindset, it might be to do with something in the marketplace. Whatever it is, we just got to get it down so we can make an assessment. But remember, this is an assessment of yourself, right? This is an assessment also of your perception. So this is okay that you might be wanting to have a little bit of aim and a little complain. That's all right. That's all right if you want to do that right now. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to say, so what do I need to do differently? This is how you are assessing yourself. What's working, what's not working, and what is it now you're going to do differently? This is very simple but very effective if you just take the time to do this. That assessment of yourself where you can actually celebrate your wins, figure out what is it I'm doing that's not working or I need to stop doing right now, and how am I going to do this differently? What is it I need to do differently? This gives you a whole different perspective and the insight to look into the different areas and the different opportunities that are around you. So once you've assessed yourself, this next bit is beautiful, because you got to ask, what is it I need right now? Now, this is where they procrastinate a little bit. So I don't want you to be doing the same. I want you to actually decide, what is it that you actually need right now? What is it? Is it money you need right now? Is it systems in your business? Is it new employees? Is it new clients? Is it health? Is it fitness? Is it support right now? Is it marketing? Is it knowledge? Like, what are all these things? What is the priority of what it is that you need exactly right now? So here, with this exercise, this is how you're going to get ahead, before this quarantine ends, is that you're going to come up with what's the priority. Because a lot of people, they've had a lot of time to think, maybe even too much time, which then turns into they're doing all these different things and they start all of these projects, but they don't finish anything, or they're not staying in something long enough to be able to get the results for it. So don't let that be you. What you need to do is say, what is it that I actually do need right now? Yeah, you're not going to plan your whole life in this, 1 or 2 months. What we need to actually be doing is saying, what is the priority? What is the priority of what I need right now? That doesn't mean we're not going to touch the other things. That doesn't mean we're not going to get to them. But what it does mean is that you're going to become a master and you're going to start spending more time on what the priority is. Now, I get it. I've been in the same situation myself with all my businesses and all the different teams that I'm operating and running with. I think I need everything right now. So I know that's what you're probably thinking as well. But I need some of this, I need some of that. Okay, let's write all those things down and narrow it down to what is it that you need actually right now. What's the priority? Priority is actually a singular thing that you're going to make a decision. Yeah, and the decision is like to cut off from all other things and decide on what the priority is. Now, this is really important. If you want to be ahead by the time quarantine comes to an end, I'll tell you something. Whether you believe in this or not, there is this whole collective energy that we're a part of. Let me give you an example. If you walk into a room, let's say is the after wake of a funeral, there is an energy, there is a collective energy in that room. If you walk in, that whole, happy buzz and joy, and you walk in there, you're going to become a part of that energy. So I'm talking on a room basis, but think of this on a larger scale. Yeah, the whole planet is now experiencing these ups and downs of all these emotions. So you're going to be feeling things, and there's going to be lots of ups and downs. So my key piece of advice here is ride the waves. Do not bottle it up, because this is how you're going to get ahead. Because if you start bottling it up, if you're not letting it go, if you're not letting it out, however that may be, you might be trying to start a new fitness plan or a new diet, and that whole discipline, or your morning routine, I've got to stick to my morning routine, and you're not letting it out in some way. You're not being kind to yourself. You're not just saying, hey, okay, for this day I fell off the horse, but let me get back on it. Ride the waves. Think about it in the sea. I mean, I was actually in the sea. This is a year or so ago now. I was actually in the sea on a surfboard, and it was crazy waves day. There was actually the waves for UK beach was bigger than I'd ever seen before. And I actually got so far out, I couldn't get back. And I was swimming. I was fighting the waves. I was fighting the waves to get back. And I remembered something. I remembered some advice that I was given. And that is, people don't drown. People don't die at sea because they drown. They die from exhaustion. So I stopped fighting the waves. And although it still took me 2 hours to get back in, I happily had some nice rays from the sun and was able to experience the beauty of the sea and the quietness and the calm, and actually eventually get back. Why? Just riding the waves to get me back in. And that's what you got to do in life. You've got to ride the waves, especially in this time now, and this is how you're going to get ahead. Because by riding the waves, you're not going to be exhausted. Because some people, they are fighting this quarantine, they are fighting this lockdown, they are fighting their emotions that they're feeling from all the collective energy that is out there in the world, and they're fighting themselves, and they're fighting with a partner, and they're fighting with everything, yeah? Because you've been confined to your own homes. So don't fight it, let it out. You got to let it go. If you don't know already, we do something called a Mind Trash Tuesday. So every week when we're taking our bins out, we're reminding ourselves, hey, I've got to let the mind trash. I've got to release the mind trash. So we do that. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit the notifications bell so you can get the reminders yourself as well. So the next thing, now you're riding with the waves, now you know what your priority is. Now you've assessed yourself, what you need to make sure you're doing, that you're having the mindset of what it is that you actually want. So riding with the waves is going to sometimes switch your focus onto a little bit of negativity. Now that is okay, as long as most of the time you get what you think about most of the time, you become what you think about most of the time. So that is about having the mindset of what you want. So you've got to focus on what it is you want, and this is how you're going to get ahead, because you're already setting the message and setting the stalls out there into the universe to manifest what it is you want. Because I'll tell you something, the people who will not get ahead after this quarantine, or when this quarantine ends, are the people that have been sucked into all of the fear mongering, all of the negativity, all of the hype in the media of all of these things going on. So you've got to make sure that you can just realize that and switch yourself on, switch your mindset onto what it is that you don't want. But don't mind if you have those days or those hours or those minutes. That doesn't mean you trash the whole thing. It's what you think about most of the time. So look, now you've got all of these things, you're in the best mindset to do this, you've got to act on the priorities and make it a must. Make it a must. I'll give you an example. So like going to the school and having the kids ready and making sure everything was sorted was an absolute must. So other things that needed to fit in there, like morning routine and breakfast and the dancing, everything else, yeah, actually it stopped becoming a priority and a must, because I wasn't doing it like I was doing it before. So maybe you've got some things that have happened the same, or maybe there's some new things based on this whole assessment that you're going to be doing that you're going to now need to get into play and now need to start practicing. This means you need to act on it, and it's got to be a must. So you've got to work on your must, work on the priority, because this is how you get your laser focus on what it is that you want, not what it is you don't want, and you're going to be miles ahead of where you are. Don't measure yourself. This is the last tip here I'm going to give you. Don't measure yourself from what what everything else that is going on and all these other things, or even other people, other businesses and all of that stuff. Don't measure yourself any of that. Just keep doing the right thing for the right reason. That's the only way you're going to get ahead when this quarantine ends and discover your true potential.